or since the last update, I went down to New Orleans and went to John Hearn's two of his classes. His 1 day 8 hour lecture class, gunfights, who wins, who loses, and why, which is a interactive PowerPoint presentation discussion based on the research that he did for his book by the same title. John Hearn owns two pillars training, and yes, he has pocket protectors for swag, which is pretty hilarious because his class is self-admittedly like super nerdy, which of course with my autistic brain is awesome. So I use his pocket protector to hold Sharpies, and I stick them in my cry pocket now, so I don't get ink holes or ink splotches on my cries. Um, Hearn is a retired National Park Service vet and training junkie. Like taking classes, like going all the way back to Thunder Ranch in Texas. Like trained with a bunch of dudes. Got into the Range Master clique for a while, but he's trained with a bunch of cats. And he took my no fill pistol, and he was like floored at the parallels between that 2 hour lecture at the beginning of day one of no fill pistol when we're talking about shot placement, psychological stops versus physiological stops, and the need to actually destroy tissue in the brain or heart in order to physically put a human being down that doesn't want to be taken out of the fight. That's like core to all of the research and data that John has done. And so it was a real big validation of his research data that somebody that had been in multiple gunfights had come to the exact same conclusions based on his own anecdotal personal data. So experience in the field matching up with the kind of clinical, theoretical, and data crunching from other sources like Force Science and FBI on post shoot data or whatever. So if you want to nerd out, like really get down into the science of fatigue training, how much training, um, you know, uh, plasticity, automaticity, everything around why do certain people succeed in gunfights and why do certain people lose. The 8 hour lecture, 1 day lecture class was absolutely worth it as a standalone. It was phenomenal. Um, it was everything that I kind of dumb down and throw off the cuff that I'm trying to cram into that first 2 hours before we go hot on day one of no fail, while also trying to do intros and safety brief. And honestly, I just don't have enough time for. And because guys come to no fill to fucking shoot, not to sit in a classroom. So it's good that I can kind of put this information out like, hey, look, this is a thing. If you want to deep dive, like check my math, go to John Hearn's lecture and like actually get fucking schooled on what's up. Uh and then his second day, he's got a 2 day pistol class, range class that is again based on some of those same things. He brings an entire truck full of toys, sets up his own turners, like brings the air tanks, sets up the line, and oh, your range doesn't have turners? That's okay. I brought my own, and puts out a bank of steel based air hose turners to your fucking range. 3-dimensional targets, spines, critical hit areas. So on the front side, you're shooting a USPSA or a B8 or some type of photorealistic cartoon of a human, and you're shooting, and then you go behind the target, and they've got lungs, heart, spine to you from the front side. And then as they start getting into the 3D targets, now you're taking oblique shots, and you can't shoot at the same spot that you were when you were directly one-on-one. You've got to be shooting off angle to go through behind the sternum and actually hit the heart. So you get downrange target feedback on your shot placement as it applies to fucking organs in the human body. And it takes a huge amount of logistics and resourcing for him to do that. He's got like toilet paper roll things that are like 3 feet long and run down the backside of the target. So it's possible to hit the heart but miss the spine, or vice versa. So you've got actual like objective sized mass behind the target to represent critical areas of the human body. And then you can go through and like, yep, I got him in the spine on that shot. Like whatever. Also less auditory and more visual reaction stuff. So remote controlled lights, colored lights, lights off in the periphery, not directly at your target. So all this stimulus that you're not used to, either going when you feel like it, or going when the instructor says gun, or going when you hear a pro timer. And there's like some like more decision making stuff involved. And then not only like when to go, but when did the target change shape or catch fire, right? As Pat Rogers used to say, engage the target. It's old tanker term. You shoot at another tank until it changes shape, fucking Ukraine style, or catches fire. Just because it stopped, just because you see splash, doesn't mean the tank's out of the fight. So, in range stuff, you can use a turner to do that. That is one method to get people to come off the trigger. But the faster that we shoot in terms of splits, the more dangerous it is in terms of our ability to stop shooting when the conditions change. And then you get like Ferguson, Big Mike, dude gets spun around. Now you're shooting through the back, and it just becomes more not problematic in terms of liability, but in the explaining portion of it to get to that was objectively reasonable. There's more data that you're going to have to explain to a grand jury or whatever to make them understand why there's a fucking wound track that's coming in through the shoulder from the back and out the left fucking hip, when apparently this guy was charging you from the front, that kind of shit. And so you're literally playing a game of red light, green light, but with your gun. So you get the light codes that you need to go hot, and you're fucking stabbing and grabbing for the pistol, and you're putting the fucking stank on them. And then the lights might change from blue equals body shot, red equals headshot. So you got blues, so you're going and you're fucking boom, boom, boom. You're engaging on the body, and then red turns on. Fuck. Mozambique, dude's got body armor. Now you got to shift to the head box and shoot. Or blue is shoot, fucking green is cease fire, targets down. And that the light will change from blue to green, but with no real change in your foreground. So now you've got to be able to train yourself to stop firing, and then to shot call how many shots, if any, did you discharge after you saw that the situation had changed. So really kind of a different look at range stuff. The shooting, like marksmanship standards, they were not that difficult, but shooting while thinking, shooting cold stage, like never seen this before, going to change it the very next time. So a lot of switch hitting, not a lot of time to rep out and build any type of predictive stuff that could kind of compensate for lack of cognitive ability. You are reactive out of the fucking gate. Reactive. What's going on? What do I do about it? What's going on? What do I do about it? What's going on? What do I do about it? Conditions have changed. What do I do about it? So really, really fucking fun time, man. He brought steel. He brought a fucking mover. He sets up pulleys and cables and a fucking cart and puts a steel plate on that bitch. And he's running back and forth like a puppet master, juking and jiving, fucking steel target downrange on an indoor range. So, really, really cool, quirky, different kind of, environment. So if you've taken all the go fast fucking boy shit and you've taken all the fucking thread the needle chuck shit and you're looking for, hey, what's something else I can do? Find John Hearn's 3-day and lace up your fucking big boy pants and go in there and prepared to fucking get some more context of the why behind what I teach as your overall fucking portion of your overall shooting gun game. It's really solid. I cannot say enough good things about Johnny's class, man. It was just for a fucking autist like me, it was amazing. It was just great, great, great information. So,